First of all, what are lens? Lens are angle of looking at the literature artwork. Nevertheless, there are a lot of lens out there. But the one we are going to talk about is psychological lens. Psychological lens are angle that you look at the book through psychological criticism. This theory hints on the belief that an examination of people's unconscious desires. It also has three major parts. ID, this is the nature of people telling themselves to do what's comfortable. Ego, the reality-based part of your personality that makes decision to satisfy the ID, and superego. And superego, the socialized conscience that tell you what's right or fair.
Next up, we have present your angle. And as mentioned above, our angle is covered by three major criticism parts: the ID, the ego, and the superego. We are to analyze the three parts in the story. For example, of the analyzation would be Oedipus complex and Electra complex. Oedipus complex is an example. Every boy has the unconscious desire to have sex with their mother. Consequently, sons are deeply afraid of their fathers, and fathers are deeply threatened by their sons. Electra complex. Every daughter has the unconscious desire to have sex with their father. Consequently, daughters are deeply afraid of their mothers, and mothers are deeply threatened by their daughters.
The two specific scenes are: first, the first scene is the bitterness that Mama Elena tastes, and the gas and bad breath that Rosaura suffers are examples that food is encrypted into the text. The emotional and psychological elements that are occurring in the book are produced in just this manner. And the another emotion that is expressed physically through her cooking is love. After all, this novel does fit the criteria of a love story. Tita and Pedro share a passion for one another that the others have not experienced, except Mama Elena for a brief period. Tita even used food as a metaphor for the passion she feels. The title of the novel also happens to be a metaphor for one of her emotions as well. A good example of how prevalent food is in Tita's psyche is example in the following quote. When she first felt in his hot gaze burning her skin, she turned her head and her eyes met Pedro's. It was then she understood how doubt feels when it is plunged into boiling oil. The heat that invaded her body was so real, she was afraid she would start to bubble, her face, her stomach, her heart, her breast. Like batter and unable to endure his gaze, she lowered her eyes and hastily crossed the room. The new way we can see from this perspective is the meaning of the scene and the character emotion that is expressed out.
Last but not least, it is often asked, so what? Why should we care to see the book in this new light you have provided for us? And our answer for that is, the purpose of using the psychological criticism and lenses to look at the book is to examine each character's nurture and unconscious behaviors. With this type of criticism, we can better understand human nature and how they nurture, and how society nurtures the character.